Niners faithful, what a moment it is to follow this team. You look around at everything happening right now, and you can feel the energy shifting in a way that just hits different compared to last season. After all the frustration of that 6-1 start that spiraled into disappointment, it finally feels like San Francisco is pulling itself back into a rhythm fans have been waiting for. Sitting at 8 wins and 4 losses after a statement victory under the bright lights of Monday night. This group is right in the middle of the race for the conference and refusing to step aside in the chase for the division. The standings might show the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks as the early pace setters, but the Niners are right there breathing down their necks, refusing to blink. What really jumps out is how this defense has responded the last couple of weeks. That performance against Carolina was the exact kind of step forward you hope to see from a young unit that has been forced to grow up fast. They shut down the run, avoided giving up those back-breaking explosive plays, and looked far more disciplined after what happened against Arizona. When you're dealing with a defense filled with developing pieces, you just want to see steady progress, and that is exactly what this group has delivered. Guys like Greer Brown starting to settle in, the pass rush looking more alive, and the overall structure tightening in a way that give the offense room to breathe. And speaking of that offense, there were flashes that remind you of just how dangerous this group can be when everything syncs up. Brock Purdy did not have his sharpest outing, but Christian McCaffrey continues to be that engine who sparks movement every single time he touches the football. George Kittle keeps climbing back to full health, and you can see the difference every time he releases off the line. Ricky Pearsall feels like he is bubbling right under the surface, waiting for that moment when everything clicks and he explodes with the kind of breakout game fans have been anticipating. Even Jawan Jennings had his moments, linking up with Purdy in key situations and reminding everyone why he is such a reliable chain mover. But perhaps the most underrated improvement is happening up front. The offensive line looked shaky earlier in the season, but the last couple of games have shown real progress. The rotation at left guard with Spencer Burford and Ben Barch has created more stability than expected, especially considering how inconsistent things were before. Dominic Pooney getting healthy again has also been a quiet blessing because he has put together stretches of really strong football. It is impossible to talk about this season without recognizing how special a few individuals have been. Christian McCaffrey is playing at a level that absolutely puts him in that offensive player of the year conversation. Every week his impact goes far beyond the numbers because defenses are forced to account for him constantly. And even then, he finds ways to break games open. Kyle Shanahan has this team navigating one of the toughest conferences in football, and the job he has done after all the offseason changes is remarkable. With San Francisco moving on from several longtime contributors, carrying a mountain of dead money, and making an intentional decision to reset the roster with youth, being 8 wins and 4 losses at the end of November is exactly what you hope for when you commit to that kind of transition. And on the defensive side, Robert Saleh has been one of the sharpest coordinators in the league, steering the group with patience and a strong-handed vision. The standings might show the Niners lingering near that final wild-card spot, but there is a real chance for this team to climb. Los Angeles sits at 9 wins and 2 losses, only 1 win ahead of San Francisco. The Philadelphia Eagles and Chicago Bears are hovering with similar records, and all of them hold those top seeds because they currently lead their divisions. But what matters is that San Francisco has already split their matchups with the Rams and still has a huge divisional game waiting against Seattle. That means the opportunity to rise in the conference is absolutely there. The NFC West has turned into one of the most competitive divisions in football this season. 3 teams in position to reach double-digit wins, all capable of beating one another, all carrying elite-level talent on both sides of the ball. Seattle already tasted defeat at the hands of San Francisco early on, and with another meeting on the horizon, the Niners control a big part of their own fate. Their upcoming slate gives them a real path to finish strong, especially with that well-timed bye week sitting in Week 14. Looking ahead, the Niners know they will have to be sharp on the road against Cleveland. It is never easy going into that environment, especially late in the season when the temperatures drop and the weather becomes another opponent entirely. The schedule after that features a welcome matchup at home, a tricky road trip to face Indianapolis, a primetime showdown with Chicago, and then the massive divisional rematch with Seattle. The way this team has battled through injuries, adversity, and a level of scrutiny that never seems to fade, you have to appreciate the toughness this roster has shown. Young pieces are stepping up, veterans are steadying the ship, and the coaching staff continues to guide the group through tight situations with confidence and clarity. And now, as Week 13 approaches, the attention turns to Cleveland. Cold weather, tough conditions, and a crowd that never stops yelling. It is the kind of setting that tests everything about who a team is, from mentality to execution. The over-under for the game is sitting extremely low, which tells you everything about how physical this matchup is expected to be. Cleveland will start rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, a player who has already generated a massive wave of attention across the league. Whether people love his confidence or roll their eyes at it, one thing is undeniable: he draws an audience. His following is huge, and every snap he takes becomes a moment fans want to dissect. His preseason flashes showed potential, and even though his first real start did not produce eye-popping numbers, he displayed poise and playmaking instincts that you cannot teach. That alone adds an extra layer of drama and intrigue to this matchup. It is not often that a late-season conference game between San Francisco and Cleveland becomes a national storyline, but that is exactly what is happening now. As the build-up intensifies heading into this week, one of the biggest storylines surround how the Niners will respond to the challenge that Cleveland's defense presents. There is no way around it. Facing a group led by Myles Garrett is never comfortable. Garrett is having the kind of season that forces you to recalibrate what you think is possible for a pass rusher in today's league. 18 sacks already, and he is hunting the all-time single-season record that has stood since the early 2000s. His explosiveness off the snap is unreal, his power is unmatched, and the violent precision with which he collapses pockets makes him a nightmare for every offensive tackle who lines up across from him. For San Francisco, that means their entire protection plan has to revolve around slowing him down. You can already imagine the hours the coaching staff spent preparing ways to chip him with tight ends, slide protections in his direction, and do everything in their control to keep him from dictating the game. The good news is that the Niners have improved offensive line play compared to what we saw early in the year. Some of the grades around the league even place their tackles among the best right now, which is something fans would not have predicted back in September. Colton McKivitz, who took a lot of heat 2 seasons ago for his struggles against elite pass rushers, has quietly become far more stable. That does not mean he is immune to tough matchups, and facing someone like Garrett is an entirely different level of challenge, but his development gives the offense a better foundation than it had before. What remains critical, though, is that San Francisco cannot allow this game to turn into one where Brock Purdy is forced to drop back repeatedly in long yardage situations. That is where Garrett thrives, and that is where the game can tilt quickly. Weather also becomes a major factor in this one. Every time Purdy has played in slick, cold, messy conditions, his performance has taken a noticeable dip. It is not a secret. We have seen it in Cleveland before, we have seen it in the postseason in Green Bay, and we have seen it in snowy battles where the ball becomes a bar of soap. Purdy is an accurate, timing-based quarterback who thrives on rhythm and ball placement. When the elements interfere with that, the offense can become disjointed. That is what makes this matchup such a fascinating test. Not because Cleveland is unbeatable, but because these specific conditions challenge Purdy in exactly the areas that have given him trouble in the past. The projected temperatures hovering just above freezing, the wet field, the wind swirling. All of that plays directly into Cleveland's strengths. And on top of that, San Francisco's history against Jim Schwartz defenses adds another difficult layer. Schwartz-coached defenses are known for being aggressive, disciplined, and extremely physical. They attack the run, they collapse the pocket with ferocity, and they often force offenses to play faster than they want to. Kyle Shanahan has faced Schwartz multiple times, and the results have rarely gone in Shanahan's favor. Scoring has been low, movement has been difficult, and every yard has felt like a fight. It is not that Shanahan cannot find answers. but Schwartz has a unique ability to disrupt the very structure of Shanahan's system. Those wide zone runs that usually open up the play-action game, his defenses crash those edges with such speed that they rarely allow the offense to stay on schedule. This is why San Francisco will need absolute precision in execution. Even with all those challenges, there is a real opportunity for the Niners defense to take control of this game in their own right. Cleveland has struggled all season to move the ball consistently. Their offensive numbers tell the story. Bottom tier in scoring, near last in yardage, struggling on third downs, inconsistent in the red zone. They rely heavily on defensive dominance and field position because their offense rarely puts together long, clock-consuming drives. For San Francisco, this means they have the chance to dictate the flow of the game by forcing Cleveland into obvious passing situations. That is where this young Niners front can pin their ears back, unleash their speed, and disrupt the timing of a rookie quarterback. That brings us back to Shedeur Sanders. He is the wild card in all of this. Rookie quarterbacks can be unpredictable, and his blend of confidence, athleticism, and improvisation makes him even more difficult to game plan. Sometimes rookies freeze under pressure. Other times they play with a reckless freedom that actually gives their team life. Sanders has shown flashes of both. He can make an impossible throw rolling to his right, and then on the next series hold the ball too long and take a sack he should have avoided. What makes him captivating is that he never seems bothered by the moment. He steps into throws with swagger. He talks with swagger, and he brings a spotlight with him wherever he goes. That energy makes games feel bigger, and the Niners' defense absolutely has to prepare for those spontaneous plays he loves to create outside the pocket. San Francisco's secondary will have to stay disciplined. The worst thing a defense can do against a quarterback like Sanders is overcommit and allow broken plays to turn into explosive gains. Keeping him contained, forcing him to throw on time, and disrupting his reads early will be essential. That is where the combination of Saleh's pressure packages and the defensive line's ability to collapse the pocket comes into play. If the Niners can compress the field around the rookie and make him uncomfortable, they can tilt the game heavily in their favor. Momentum also matters this time of year. With the bye week approaching, winning this game sets up the Niners for a strong push down the stretch. A victory would send them into the break at 9 wins and 4 losses, feeling rejuvenated physically and mentally, and ready to tackle the final run of the regular season. The path is right there. A home game that should be favorable, a chance to grab national attention on Sunday night, and then the massive showdown with Seattle that could end up deciding the division race. Every game becomes a stacking opportunity, and that is why this Cleveland matchup carries weight beyond just one win. The biggest takeaway heading into this contest is that the Niners have shown resilience all season long. They have dealt with injuries, inconsistencies, and a series of tough matchups, and yet they remain in prime position to control their fate. The foundational identity of this team has resurfaced: toughness, physicality, and the ability to respond when tested. This next game is another chance to demonstrate that, another chance to show the league who they are becoming as the season evolves. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. NFL circles are buzzing with one of the most tantalizing rumors of the season. Could Davante Adams really be suiting up in red and gold? Sources close to ESPN are whispering that the star wide receiver has reached an agreement with the San Francisco 49ers, a move that would instantly transform Kyle Shanahan's offensive arsenal into something truly dangerous. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the very idea of Adams lining up alongside the likes of Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle has sent shockwaves through the league. Imagine the possibilities. Adams' precise route running and elite hands combined with Shanahan's innovative schemes could make the 49ers' passing game nearly unstoppable. Analysts are already speculating how defenses would even begin to cover him, Kittle, and a dynamic running game all at once. It's the kind of combination that keeps defensive coordinators up at night, and for fans, the excitement is palpable. Social media is alight with speculation. mock rosters are being redrawn, and highlight reels of Adams' spectacular catches are circulating with captions like 49ers offensive nightmares. Behind the scenes, insiders say the discussions have been intense but promising. Reports suggest that Adams was drawn to San Francisco's culture of winning and the opportunity to become Shanahan's primary weapon in an offense that thrives on creativity and unpredictability. Questions remain about how this potential addition would impact existing receivers, but experts are quick to note that Adams' ability to command attention could actually open up the field for everyone. While the official confirmation is still pending, the mere rumor is enough to send the NFL world into a frenzy. Could this be the move that propels the 49ers to a new level of dominance? Or is it just another tantalizing story that won't come to fruition? One thing is certain. If this deal happens, Shanahan's offense might just become the league's most feared, and Davante Adams could cement his legacy as one of the most electrifying talents in football today. The NFL rumor mill rarely heats up this fast, and this one is already on fire. Stay tuned, because if Adams truly joins the 49ers, the entire landscape of the league could shift overnight. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.